Hey, this is Sully for Antisocial News, and this is the body count report for Friday, November the 3rd, 2017. And I'm going to jump right into a good example of bad reporting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Miami Herald here, please. Militant group in Nigeria's oil-rich region ends ceasefire. Wari Nigeria, a Nigerian militant group, just a Nigerian militant group. That's it. That's the name of them. Has announced an end to its ceasefire. Now, just so you notice, that's a double negative. That's an end to a cease, which means they're declaring war. Okay, uh, so there's threats from a militant group. Saying that they're ending the ceasefire is a little confusing. Anyway, with Nigerian government raising the prospects of renewed attacks on oil installations in the Niger Delta. Um, they continue to not give a name for anybody. Uh, that's it. It says the group had declared a ceasefire back in August 2016. Um, the group. So I even went to I went to Vanguard Nigeria because I'm trying to see if this is big news in Nigeria. Okay. Um, we've got reunion of 1988 set of federal government girls college. Karate kick Evra suspended. Police arrest 3,000 kidnappers nationwide. Whoa, that's pretty cool. If they're kidnappers, that's they're bad dudes. Okay. Um, monstrous messy to end. Where do you think this would be, huh? Politics, maybe. FG. No, that's like world politics. Okay, okay. Maybe it'd be in the breaking news. Breaking: Buhari approves immediate treatment abroad. No, no. So yeah, if somebody knows what's going on here and they want to jump in with some explanation, I'd love that. I would love that. So, especially Miami Herald. Anybody from the Miami Herald want to chime in here? I would love for that to be the case because this is ridiculous. This is the worst reporting. I look at news from around the world, and I've even bumped into a Nigerian news site and its clone, which was just as good. You couldn't even tell the difference between the real news site and the fake news site, and their reporting was better than this. Okay, so this is terrible. Miami Herald, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's disgusting. Um, moving on, moving on from that potentially super dangerous story. Um, this is one I don't think it belongs in here. I really wanted to include it in the body count report. This is a terrible body. Look at this. Look at the horrible reporting I'm doing. This isn't a body count report story because all it is talking about how people are upset with her because of the body count in Myanmar. And I don't know. I maybe this does belong in here just because it shows the bias of the Western world and um, how we can easily let people become demonized. Um, as I've stated a million times on the body count report, I don't think the Myanmar military is blameless in this situation, but um, the facts are they were attacked by a terrorist organization called the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, and the Rakhine area uh, was beholden to very strict conservative terrorist influence that was murdering the Hindus in the region. So when the government responded to the terrorist attack against them, uh, there was not a peaceful welcoming of them, and the government was the only people being violent. So yeah, and in places like uh, countries that have border disputes constantly, the military is sort of on autopilot. The people at the very top of the government don't have the control over the military that countries that don't have border disputes have, because they need to be able to make split second decisions to to protect their borders. And places like Myanmar, yeah, they'll the military is on autopilot. It's not necessarily uh, Aung San Suu Kyi having some sort of mind meld with every single soldier. So, yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm an apologist for genocide, but when you actually look at the facts of the case, uh, it doesn't appear that that's what was going on. It appears to be just an overpowered response to terrorists and terrorism. Um, we have a lot of a lot of political news going on. A lot of people upset at the Harvey Weinstein situation, which I don't think that's a life or death situation, but it is a shocking story. I'm not going to include it in this, but I did want to show an interesting U.S. story that that got me thinking about um, presidents and how presidents are in danger. It was right after Trump left. Then the story came out that there was a guy trying to blow Trump up. So he had a bomb, or was saying that he had bombs around the White House, and uh, wacky situation there. And there you go. Look, number one story in world news in Times of India. Thank you, Times of India, for caring about the United States. That's wonderful. Not like those damn Irish. All right. All right. We have man claims to have explosives near the White House. Held. 33-year-old man was arrested on Friday after Secret Service said he approached one of its uniformed officers near the White House and claimed to have dropped explosives in the area. Now, this guy appears to be a crazy person, and you might be thinking, Sully, you can't talk about Trump stuff and say you don't want to talk about politics. This is not about politics, and let me explain to you very simply why. This guy, no matter what you think of him, is voluntarily doing a job that has had 4 people assassinated while doing it. Mind you, he's only the 45th president. There's 2 other people who died in office that they rumor that may have been assassinated. So you're looking at doing a job where 1 out of 10 people who do it are killed. So, so this is a job where people try to say, "Hey, why does he need so much security?" That's why. 1 out of 10 people who do that job get killed. So that's serious business. Being a Secret Service agent, working for the president, it's serious business being the president. They're under constant threat. They are under constant surveillance by their own people who are trying to protect them. It's living in a fishbowl basically for these guys. Um, to be honest, why anybody would want to do that job is beyond me. If you're crazy enough to want to do the job, I understand. This is a very bizarre situation here. We're moving on to some weird territory with this title. IDF denies involvement in Syrian suicide attack, vows to protect Druze. So I don't like that they're even mentioning the allegations here because it just seems ridiculous. Apparently, there was a terrorist attack against the Druze people and the Syrian government to try to conflate Israel to enemies of Syria, and the minorities within accused them of being secretly driven by Israelis, which is kind of an old hat trick. You see that in the United States with the whole ISIS conspiracies. Um, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Israel-Syria situation. Israel has taken a hard line against Syria. They blew up a weapons factory. Um, uh, there's check out the videos in this. Um, I don't want to play the videos due to copyright reasons, and the link is in the description of this video, so check it out. Um, and don't be a stranger to Ynet News. It's a great website. Very in-depth coverage of the area. These people are on the ground in Israel. They have a great understanding of the ethnic diversity of the area, and that's another reason why a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think you talk to a lot of American kids about Israel, and they honestly think that you just have this sea of Arabs and then this white country that's just white Jews from like Germany and stuff and America, and they really don't belong there because that's not where they're from. And in all reality, it's actually a wildly diverse landscape of people. There's different ethnicities that are represented in different races and ethnicities represented in Israel that have trouble freely living elsewhere, such as the Druze people. And very interesting group to look into is the Samaritans. So we're uh, yeah. It's just me. There's no news left in the world. Do we just talk about all the news in the world? Is that everything? Is that all the news in the world? Or did we miss our favorite subject ever? I think we did. Marawi. Yes. I once again need to validate my Marawi victory title card. Let's just celebrate. Could we just bask in Marawi victory for a moment, please? Could we just... Yes. Thank you. Thank you, our Pogi brethren in the AFP for Marawi victory. Hua. Okay. Pogi means handsome for those who don't know Tagalog. Tipsters on terrorist presence get citations. These are people basically getting recognized for their work, and we have a new acronym in this story. This is just so awesome to see. The police regional office of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao is promoting the concept that they are very much against radicalized terrorism, radicalized Islam in any way, and they are going out of their way to do the positive reinforcement and encourage the people that stood up to the terrorists. So that is really important. When you just focus on negative reinforcement, you just focus on the fact that the terrorists get blowed up and get shot in the head. You miss out on the stuff like this, where this is really what helps prevent terrorists from taking over in the future. Is when you see people welcoming those who stand up to radicalization. Um, and also, these people were part of the Barangay Peacekeeping Action Team, or PBAT, BPAT. So BPAT, or the Barangay Peacekeeping Action Team, helped the lead to the capture of Sioputra. Sioputra is an Indonesian terrorist, Mohammadin Ilham Sioputra. Bad guy. Caught thanks to BPAT. And they're getting recognized for their heroism. Also, we have Abu Sayyaf news, these disgusting little bandits running around there in their little schooners, kidnapping people. Abu Sayyaf releases kidnapped politician. Zamboanga City terrorists from the Abu Sayyaf group freed a kidnapped municipal official in southern Philippines after holding him captive for 35 days, the military said on Friday. As it had done, a counselor in Jolo, Sulu, was released on November the 1st near the village of Buru in Talapao town. It added Buru is a known stronghold of the Abu Sayyaf group, whose leaders have pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. Brigadier General Ciralito Sobehana, commander of the Anti-Terror Joint Task Force Sulu, confirmed the counselor's release, but did not say whether the politician's family paid ransom to the kidnappers. Tan was kidnapped at gunpoint on September the 27th while he was biking with friends in Indinan town. His family did not issue any statement to the media after he was freed. Sobehana said the counselor is in good physical condition. The Abu Sayyaf group is still holding nearly 24 Filipino and foreign hostages in its strongholds in Mindanao, in the south. The military said it would order a fresh offensive against the Abu Sayyaf and other jihadist groups in Sulu and Basilan, both provinces in restive Muslim autonomous region, after the defeat of local IS fighters in Marawi City and Lanao do Sur province. Now, obviously we covered the defeat of Maute in Marawi, Lanao do Sur, but this is something that's a really big issue, and I want to draw in on this point right here. Ransom. That's an ugly, ugly word. You know why that's an ugly word? These 24 Filipinos and foreign hostages, and you know what we're talking about there in where they're capturing people. They're just mainly capturing people who are Muslim workers in the area, and it's really, really sick that these guys call themselves Islamic terror. You know, they call themselves a part of the caliphate, and all they're really doing is stealing Hajj money from people. Muslims will save up money, sometimes their whole lives, so that they or a family member can take a trip to Mecca. And terrorists and pirates know that. and they know that even the poorest little fisherman probably has a hedge fund somewhere, and so they'll capture these people. And it does not take a lot of money to survive as a pirate. You can last for months and months and months on just a few $100, but it takes a few $1,000s. Sometimes I think it's about $10,000 to get to Mecca. So you got people who are who might have a few $100 saved up or a few $1,000 saved up to go to Mecca, and if you can get just a little bit of that as a pirate, uh, you're gonna be able to last for a while on that. You're gonna be able to buy more guns and money with that, and that's really what's disgusting about this is that politician. If that politician's family paid ransom for him, they might be happy they got their loved one back. But if they did pay ransom for him, that money is going to be used to terrorize other people. That money is going to be used to kidnap other people or to kill other people. So that's why the United States said years ago that we do not negotiate with terrorists because that's exactly the reason. You give money to terrorists, they use that money to terrorize people. That's in their name, and that's what they do. Um, so they murder and hold people hostage, and because of that, that's the thing. We don't know whether or not they gave ransom. So maybe because of Malte's defeat and and the interest being paid towards Islamic State allegiant groups, maybe they let the politician go to get some heat off of them. Who knows? So I'll be following this story. Hopefully, we'll find out more. Check the link list. There's always a Lighten Up link in Friday link list, so check that out. Um, I think this has been a pretty positive episode. I had to mock Miami Herald, and we had some good news that we reported here. So um, I want everybody to stay safe. Also, I've been having trouble finding good news sources in English for South America. So if anybody has a South American news agency they'd like to recommend for me, please do. Please do so in the comments below or email me. Thank you so much. And this is Sully wishing you a great, safe weekend. Cheers.